Hello guys, it's online card class day and we're going to make three really cute cards with our Stampin' Up! Products. We're going to make this cute card with our Impressions Abloom stamp set. We have a Feathered Fun and Blooming Phrases card, and then we have a cute little Inspiration Squad card for you. I love card class week. I just had my card class at my house last night. I always have it live here in Arkansas, and then I do it online the next day for you. So I love them both. I love spending time with you here on Facebook and on YouTube, and I love having people in my home as well. So if you're in Central Arkansas, make sure and sign up for my next class. And if you're not, you're lucky because this class goes online every month at 1 o'clock Central on the Wednesday after. It'll be the 4th Wednesday of the month. So my name is Kay Cogbill, and my business is called Paper Made Prettier. You can find me on papermadepretther.com. You'll find me more on Facebook at Paper Made Prettier and YouTube at also Paper Made Prettier, all one word. So make sure and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Facebook so you don't miss another video. You might see this cute little guy over here. This is a gift that I gave to the people that came to my class using the Inspiration Squad stamp set. So we can actually just get started with that card. So we're going to make 3 cards today, and they're pretty simple. I try to keep it simple for card class so that hello Barb, you can create these cards at home with whatever you have, or you could purchase the stamp set and create it just like I did. So up to you. I'm going to start with, I'm going to make sure this is down pretty well. Sometimes I feel like I'm too far from you. Okay, so when you purchase $35 or more, you're going to get card kits, and in your card kit you're going to have 2 sets of pieces to make 2 cards. Does that make sense? So you'll have enough to make 2 of this card. But you're going to start with this little piece here, and we're going to stamp our sweetest little dragon. We decided that his name was Clyde. You can tell me what you think his name is, but I think he's adorable. He's just so friendly looking. I doubt he breathes fire. He probably breathes like Skittles and chocolate bars. He's probably that kind of dragon. So we're going to stamp him in Misty Moonlight. And then what we're going to do, leave your ink pad out and don't stick your finger in it like I did. And you're going to grab another clear block, and that just gives you a little palette of Misty Moonlight. And then I'm going to take my blender pen. Now I want just a little bit, so you see how I put it in there, but then I kind of scraped it off here. So I'm going to come in here and just color his little, I guess you'd call it chest plate. So I'm starting with the darker color and then just kind of bringing it down a little bit. So you want to use a pretty light touch with these. It doesn't take much, and if you find that you've got too much on your blender pen, then just keep going with it and it lightens out. You can see how that worked there. You can always add some more. That's what I did there. So just use a light touch, and honestly, this looks better than the one that I did in class, which is shocker. You just never know. I think I remembered now that with the blender pens, you want to use a light touch. I was going pretty hard with it yesterday. So then we're going to color in his little scales all the way down, and then here I'm going to give his little stripes, the middle one here, and then I'm going to go in and do his whole tail here. So he's a cute, oh, his wings. I forgot his wings. Duh. So the lighter you touch it, the less it will color, and so that makes it just a neat little effect. But you don't want to all over the paper, because that will kind of make it more like, kind of peels up your paper, if that makes any sense. Okay, I'm very happy with that, actually. So just light touch, pick up a little bit of your, these have some sort of substance in them. I think it might be xylene, I don't know. But the way that you clean it off is grab a scratch paper and just go like this, and then your blender pen is clean. Okay, so that's how you clean a blender pen. And then what we're gonna do in our little, to finish off our sweet little dragon, it's a dragon, so he's magic, right? All dragons are magic. So we are going to come in with our Wink of Stella. This is our shimmer pen, glimmer pen, shimmer pen. It's not a glitter pen, but it has shimmer in it. And of course, if this is a magic dragon, then by all means, he's gonna need to shimmer. So we've got some Wink of Stella on there, and I don't know if you can see that, but I'm pretty tickled with how cute that is. Now, this card was a direct copy from someone that I swap with, and honestly, I've pulled off the tag, so I will find it and I will let you know. I'm gonna send out an email with all the PDF instructions for these cards. Anyone that's on my email list will get those instructions. So you definitely, I'll put that in the first comment, how to subscribe to my email list. And then you'll get the instructions with the names of the people that made these cards. All 3 cards today are ideas directly copied from people that I swap with. I love swapping with people. I don't know if you swap or trade with people, but it's one of my favorite things. We just love it. My Pretties team does it every month. So the people that are on my group, anyone can be on it. You can too. And you can trade cards with us. So these are some cards that I received from other demonstrators that I trade with as well. So I trade with my own team, and then I also trade with others. Now, I talked right over myself. This is a piece of designer paper from the Kintsugi. I don't know exactly if I'm saying that right. The Kintsugi Suite, and it is in the Thanks Barb. I thought he looked like a Clyde, but you could tell me what you think he looks like. This paper is called Kintsugi Inspirations. A lot of this right now is not orderable, like this, and this, but the paper is. So grab the paper. That's all we're using here today. Of course, the paper that you need will be in your packet, but you're going to want more because it's the prettiest designer paper. It's got just the right flair for this dragon. This gold piece is so cute. So you're going to put a panel on the front and then a panel here. Now, like I said, you're going to get all the instructions for how to cut these panels when you subscribe to my email list. All these dimensions. So cute. All right, so we're going to center that. And then we're going to stick this straight down with Stamp and Seal. And then we're going to pop up our little sentiment thing with dimensionals. Now, I'll tell you, the circle and the label are from the Stylish Shapes dies. So if you don't have these, they're pretty indispensable. You need them. That could be one of your things that you order to get your card class for free. Imagine you may have them, but if you don't, you're under a rock. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to add here are some pretty embellishments. The floral something, the Kintsugi Suite comes with something called floral accents. They would be super cute, but they're not orderable. So we're using these cute iridescent foil gems. So just I decided I don't like to make it look like my animal is pooping. So I don't like to put an embellishment right there because it seems like he's pooping out glitter. But you know what? If he's a magic dragon, I suppose he could. All right. So, little cute magic dragon needs to be in your craft room today. So get Inspiration Squad. It's a $21 set. It's online. It's easy to miss because you're so connected to the catalog. But once I started seeing, this is the card that sold it for me. This is a swap that I got using it. And I don't know who made it, but it's so adorable. So that's what sold it to me. And I'm going to flip you through gobs of cards that are made with that kintsugi paper. Like I said, the suite is not available, but you can see how gorgeous it is. So I would recommend that you go ahead and pick up the paper now. And when the other bits come in, you can order those. So they will be coming in the next month or so. It's just a really pretty suite of products. Okay, so that is that. Now, let's move on to our next card. And that is going to be our Impressions Abloom card. This is a gorgeous stamp set that is online only as well. It comes with a set of designer paper called probably Blooming Inspirations. I don't even know, but it's in the impression. Look for the Impressions Abloom. It's with that. And I also copied this card from Nancy. This was from Nancy Thompson. So thank you, Nancy, if you end up seeing this. But I went ahead and used the exposed brick embossing folder because this gorgeous damask embossing folder was not orderable. So I don't like to use things that my friends can't buy. So you can get the exposed brick embossing folder. So you're going to start by just sticking this layer down. I just ran it through my emboss machine with that embossing folder. I did make a separate layer, but Nancy, I'm never able to do it to where you just do the front, but she did a wonderful job with that. I usually just make a separate piece and do that as well. I'm curious, if you're watching, how do you do that? If you're doing a whole front emboss layer, do you cut out some separately or do you just run it on through? Tell me, I'm curious. All right, the next thing we're going to do is play with these gorgeous pieces of the designer paper. So I love this layout because you could use it with any designer paper you have. I just think it's so clever and cute, and it's pleasing to me, the way that it looks. I love a good symmetrical anything, and so this little layout made me very happy. So you're just gonna put these little pieces. First, I just kind of eyeball them, and then I just stick them down. Don't overthink it. Just eyeball them, and then stick them down, okay? But you can see that this pattern, that's the strawberry slush, is the reverse of the floral pattern here, so don't get mixed up. Of course, I guess you could do them the other direction if you want to, but it's your pick. It's your card packet when you receive it in the mail. Okay, so that is your little background. I guess you might say it's like a little patchwork. Thanks, Barb. I thought they were very pretty. I love this flower. So the star of the show of this suite is the designer paper, but also these dies. So they emboss and cut at the same time. So you can see I've used this. This is a 2-piece die, and then two of these dills, and then you even have a little centerpiece that cuts and embellishes at the same time. So we've done all that work for you though, no worries. So we're just going to build our flower with glue. So we're just going to put a little dibit of glue, and see if I've got I don't have my take your pick tool close. So we're gonna just put that there and then put this here. Now, you know our glue is fantastic, but it is repositionable for a minute. So things can kind of slide around. So just slide it back. Okay, so there's our flower. And then we're going to take our, this is the, I stamped this, oh, okay. Barb does it separately and together on the front. That makes sense. Just whatever kind of mood you're in works for me. Okay, we're gonna stamp our thanks with, did I cover that up? I sure did. Covered up my whole box. Hold on. We're gonna stamp the stamp that says thanks with memento. You could also use basic gray, really any color will do, but I chose, I think I thought that that was going to be basic gray at one point, but somehow I switched over to memento black, so you decide what you like. And then this flower is just going to go straight on here like that. And then we're going to flip this over and we're going to take some of this fresh freesia. It's like a velvet, faux velvet ribbon. And I make it like a, what do you call it? Like a, I don't know what that's called. But you're gonna stick it like so. And then I'm gonna lay something on top of it so I can use my hands to get some tear and tape. So we're gonna trap that ribbon behind our little label. And then pop that up with dimensionals. Textured Notes dies is what that label is made from, and I do think those are on not orderable right now, or maybe they were on low inventory. I can't remember. Oh, I did that upside down, but that's okay. We'll just leave it. And then we're gonna take this piece and stick it down to our card base. Now, since that card, I don't normally put this much Stampin' Seal, but since that card base is embossed, you need a little extra. So we'll do that. And then I've got these, they're called Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink embellishments. They're so pretty, and you'll definitely want to add them to, they're called gems. Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink gems. Add those to your order, but we're gonna add these right to your card, so you'll get those in the mail as well, enough for your cards, but you can order a whole pack if you want. And that is card number 2, using the Impressions Abloom stamp set and dies. So definitely want to add that to your list. Impressions Abloom. Okay, so let's get that all out of the way, get cleaned up here, move on to our next card. I'm gonna do, oh, I want to show you my other Impressions Abloom cards. Strap on, because there are so many. This was obviously a very popular set, and the reason I know that is because when I trade with people, a lot of people choose that. So you can see all of these different swaps and trades. These cards we made at my team meeting, so cute. A simple stamping card, another gorgeous card. So you can see the versatility of that stamp set. You've got this neat die that cuts out the circle, but the flowers that are embossed and cut at the same time are really my favorite part of that. It's everything. And Barb, lots of pretty yellows for you. So I'm sure you've already gotten that, little sweetheart. All right. Moving on. The next card is our Feathered Fun and Blooming Phrases card. So another swap that I copied directly. This is from Mary Ellen Stites. and she used both of these. We got this idea for stamping in a square when we were at our Stampin' Up! Event in Raleigh, North Carolina. Stampin' Up! Always wows us with pretty things, and that was one of the ideas that they gave us. So let's get that started, and I'll show you what I mean about that. So we're going to start with a piece of basic beige, one of my favorite colors, honestly. When it first came out, I was like, do we really need that? And now I'm like, how did we ever live without it? But it's a very great, warm neutral that is on, it's like just, I don't know, it's great. So we're going to start with the colors that you're going to need for this card. I used our Granny Apple, Basic Gray, Early Espresso, and Lost Lagoon. But we're going to start with the Early Espresso to do our sentiment. Now, the sentiment that worked best for me for the square, if you wanted to use different sentiments from this set, then you could make your square bigger. But this thanks fits right here. You could use happy and birthday, but then these get kind of long, so you would need to make a different sized square. So let's just get to stamping. So we're going to ink this up with Early Espresso and just start at the far left of a corner. Turn. It's just actually easier than you think. Oh yeah, I didn't do too hot there. There. And here. Now I'm going to show you a little trick, and it's in my box because I'm not the first person that made that mistake when we were stamping. Sometimes the words don't come out. We have our Stampin' Right marker in Early Espresso, and we're just going to come in and pretend like we stamped that perfectly. So you can just add in and repair what you've oopsed, or just leave it. But you know, if we can fix it, then let's fix it. I'm going to choose this one to be at the top because I think that's my best one. And then we're going to use, so this stamp set called Feathered Fun is it's called a reversible. So this reverses and stamps the inside of the stamped image, if that makes any sense. So I've used both the leaf that's full and then the leaf that's partial, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So one of the leaves is flipped over to the what do you call it, detailed side, and that's this one, I think. I don't know, yeah, that one got flipped over here. So what we're gonna do is flip that this way so you get a solid leaf pattern there, and then this smaller leaf is flipped around to where you can see the more detailed pattern of that. So just get some leaves in there. Doesn't really matter how you do them. And then we're gonna do some flicking, okay? So you're gonna need a big space to cover up what you're doing. So I'm gonna open up this notebook and get a nice big space because this does make kind of a mess. And you want to cover up any cards that you don't want to get stuff on. Grab something hard, it doesn't matter what, and whatever marker you want to flick with. So you can see there's flecks of color on here. That's what we're doing. So you're going to take your blending marker. You're going to go for the thick end. It has a thick and a thin end. And you're going to hold your scissor right over your card and you're just going to bang it onto that. Now, I'm not banging the tip of the marker because that will damage it. But I'm banging the actual marker, and you can see all these tiny little flecks here, okay? Some people will take their marker and go like this, but I think that kind of damages the marker. That's just my opinion. But you'll see people do that as well. then we're going to take our feathered fun, and we don't really know. I'm not a bird person, so if you're watching this and you know what kind of a bird this is, let me know. I'd love to know. And we're going to use our basic gray. So we've just got a little piece of that basic beige, and we're going to stamp our let's try that again. Stamp our bird. He's so cute. And we're going to fussy cut him out. And I did all the fussy cutting of the birds last night in class because I get really bored just sitting there. So he cuts out really fast. He doesn't have any detailed lines around him, so you don't have to stress about that. Just flick around him. When you're fussy cutting, you want to leave a little edge around what the stamped image. That just looks better. All right, now to color him, we're going to do something fun. We're going to use our Lost Lagoon ink pad. I tried cloud cover, but it just wasn't dark enough. And I didn't know what Mary Ellen used, but I think she must have used this color because it looked just like her card. So we're going to use Lost Lagoon, and we're just going to use a sponge dauber to just daub a little bit of that Lost Lagoon color onto that bird. So you've got a pretty little colored bird without much effort at all. How easy is that? Pick up some sponge daubers next time you're shopping. And we're going to pop him up with a dimensional, and he's just going to go right in these little green leaves. That's where he likes to hang out. All right, now in our packet we have, this is the new designer series, and one of the new designer series papers patterns. Let's see what it's called. They all sound the same to me. I think it could be Florals in Bloom. Let's look. Dun, dun, dun. Florals in Bloom designer series paper. And this is different than this piece, of course you can see, but both work fine. I can't remember the name of that other paper that's on there, but it was an online paper. It's still available, I just didn't have any. So I used another monochromatic cloud cover piece of designer paper. So we're going to pop on our basic beige rectangle here, and I love these embellishments on this card. It was probably not been my first thing because I tend to get in a like, these go with the turtle, right? But we used these last week on our turtley cute card, but we're going to use them today with our bird card. So we're going to just put a couple of these on here. There's this pool party one, and isn't that just the perfect finish to our feathered fun and blooming phrases card? All right, so all these pretty cards. Let me show you some more feathered fun cards that I have. This is very precious. I have another one. Very nice. Love them both. And let me show you some other blooming phrases cards. You can see this blooming phrases set is going to go with every designer paper, and the way it's made, we did probably done one about this, but you stamp the words and then the flowers stamp right onto the end of the word. So that's another great use of these this stamp set. But you can see it goes with all these different types of designer papers, and just looks fabulous. So make sure and add that to your cart, the blooming phrases. Don't forget our Suite, S-U-I-T-E, sale. There are multiple suites still available in the catalog. I know that cute turtle suite that we use is available, but just go and see what's available. If the suite isn't available, you can always get the bundle from the suite or the designer paper from the suite. Whatever item you buy from the suite, you'll get any other item from any suite for half off. The less expensive item is the one that you'll get half off. So that's how you shop the suite sale. So you'll definitely want to do that. And then I want to remind you about the card class. So if you order $35 or more, you'll get these cards shipped to you in the mail. Or if you order 50 or more, you're going to get the card kits plus an embellishment. And these orders are due on Monday the 30th. So the sets we used: Impressions of Bloom, Inspiration Squad, Feather Fun, and Blooming Phrases. All right, thanks for watching, guys, and I hope that you get your free cards with your order today. Bye.